And that leads me to the next point. This is also, I realized, because when I was like, oh yes, let me embrace Kina now, I realized there was some judgment towards my name, Christina, which is my given name. And, you know, part of the judgment was, oh, it's, you know, Christina is a root for, you know, the follower of Christ. Like, that's what the name means, the follower of Christ. And I'm like, that's my Christian name. That's the name that, you know, well, I'm not going to get into all that, but anyways, I was in judgment of it and I didn't like it. But also what I realized this week is that Christina has got this duality thing happening, this masculine and feminine. This Chris is masculine, the Tina is feminine, and together that's my name, Christina. And it's actually a cool point because I realized also this week how crucial balance is when it comes to the masculine and feminine for me, my expression. And so I'll give you a brief story of how this came about. I have for a very long time, at least a decade, been standing in a very masculine expression where I was taking on, you know, a very structured way of living, a very organized way of living. You know, I'm a big fan of math. I'm a very like to-do person. I'm just very analytical in my mind. I like plans. I like order. I like control. And I was just very much embracing that because at the time, in the last decade, it's what gave me the most stability. So I just fully stepped into that, no problem. But what happened, you know, pretty much since Phoenix was born, my son, and at the end of March, I started realizing that I can't fully stand in only that expression of being very controlled, structured. You know, I had to be a little more spontaneous, be a little bit more flowing in my day because that child is not following my to-do list, okay? He's not living in a structured way. He's living in a way that is very much determined by his physical needs. And so it has supported me to kind of let go of the reins a bit and practice walking more in the moment with him, which has been challenging because I've been for the last decade. But then again, this last week for, you know, what has happened is it's almost like I described it as like being a slingshot. So I was pulling myself back further and further and further and farther into this masculine expression until it got so tight and so far back that all of a sudden it was let go and I went flying into my more feminine expression, and all of a sudden I'm wanting to dance, and all of a sudden I'm wanting to sing, and all of a sudden I'm wanting to be a little bit more like sexual, like relating more to this like serpent expression and just like more into my female body. And it was just like, whoa, where is this coming from? You know, I'm dancing on TikTok, so you can check me out there. You know, and it was just like, I just went so far into the feminine aspect. And after a few days of this, I started to feel very unstable and very like crazy and very ungrounded. And what I realized was that I so need the masculine and the feminine together, because the way I described it was my masculine expression alone, just that, I feel like the walking dead. I don't feel alive. I don't feel like I have any passion to do anything, whereas the feminine is all the passion and the creativity and the fun and the flow. But I feel very like my feet aren't on the ground, and I feel a little just uprooted and not really knowing how to direct the expression. And so I need the 2 points to stand together in equality and oneness. I need them together to balance me out. You know, I can't fully flow and express myself without some sort of organization and direction within that. So I realized Christina is a very cool also point for me of like showing how we need duality. Duality is a very cool point in terms of it complements each other, you know. It's two sides of the same coin. It's the spectrum that, you know, everything in between, it's all beautiful. It's, you know, it's like that's where you get that diversity of expressions, you know, you get the range of expressions. And so, yeah, that is what I've kind of been doing this last week and exploring within myself, is my name, who I am as my name. And anyways, I encourage you to look at your name and what is your relationship to your name. And did you have any nicknames as a kid that maybe you didn't like, or that you kind of dismissed, and to see who you are within that, and what does that name actually represent for you, and who are you in your current name, and what is it that you want people to call you now. You know, it's like finding that point of, you know, okay, who am I in relation to my name, and it's like making a decision about how you want to express yourself, you know. And I can see how me going by Christina only was suppressing this innocent aspect of myself. This Kina, you know, is an innocent, and even now I'm still not totally comfortable in that name, but I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to encourage people to call me that, because I want to get comfortable in that position of innocence again, because that is what that name represents for me. So I encourage you to look at what's your name, and who are you within that? What are your feelings around your name? And did you have a nickname as a kid that you really liked or didn't really like? Or, you know, just another way to explore and discover yourself and get to know yourself and reflect on who you are. So that's it for my sharing this week. Thanks for watching, and if you guys have anything to share about your names and what you see within your name, and what you see in relation to your relationship to your name, please share in the comments below. Bye guys.